So, I made a video last Sunday, about what stocks I'll be watching into the week. Broke it down: HIMS, RDW, CLSK, AI. I do want to just clarify and look over those stocks that I was looking at and just see where they're at in the market because I think it's something good to notice, good to note that you should always analyze and go back. And this is just to show credibility on my side. I didn't take even any trades last week, so it doesn't even matter. I just laid out these videos because they're all thought theses and just ideas to watch. So, as we can see in the video, 1845, and it's right now 1435. So I was over here basically looking for either a break above or a break below, and the break below into the 50-day held up pretty nice. So that could have been a trade even on either side. Mainly, I was pointing out huge inside day, and that's something to note that we'll get back into. HIMS was another stock that I mentioned. Fake out, fake out, fake out, breakout. Not sure why I have these drawings here, but this thing broke out and volume shows. This thing looks beautiful. That's all I could say. 50 above. I will be looking for, as you see, mink, 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 and him to be. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. All right. I'm not sure how much I can or can't say publicly because I don't want to. I'm not trying to get in trouble about nothing. All right, CLSK and AI. We'll go over those really quickly, and then we'll actually get into today's video. When we saw it, what did we see it at? 1559, and right now 1724. So I was looking at it about around this area, and we're not really doing anything. I'd more like it to pop out of this range. This range, I would say we see 23s. On top of that, what I would like, it's not that it's CLSK is not doing anything. All we're doing is basically basing and consolidating as other higher time frame moving average consolidate. Like, look at this monthly candle. Boom, taps in. If you tell me this is not ready, like, we could pull this down. Like, this thing is ready. It will be. I mean, I have it on my watch. It will stay on my watch unless we start breaking down. But I don't see that right now. We've had an amazing run up from these lows, 140. So some pullback, some consolidation doesn't hurt anybody. And just to quickly note, like, you could see my setup comes in many times, and it's not just once or twice, and it's not even just about being on whatever the case is, up or down, short or buy, because look, you can even see here, boom, boom, breakdown. And even the moving averages support the move. Gaps down, you see rejection on moving average, huge 15% day. So it's there. AI, I think in reality, I think all we did was just consolidate. Honestly, we might have just did a big circle, 1043, yeah, 1030. So yeah, I think it was here. Yeah, this was here when I was watching this, and we went up some. I think like $1 or something. So everything, is there. You could take that for what it is, but let's just get into today and this week's in the market of 622 that week. I'm not sure what the Friday is, but basically going into the week. I'm looking at SPY. I really like looking at SPY and QQQ to tell me what is the market doing, how are we looking, and basically just get an understanding of what the overall market wants and doesn't want. All right. When I'm trading technology stocks, I want to be looking at QQQ. Overall, I'm mainly looking at SPY just because of the largeness of these stocks, and most of the stocks that I'm going to be looking at today will be in a mixture of the SPY and NASDAQ. So it all depends on which I trade and which I don't. But for this example, I'm just going to be mainly focusing on SPY because I like the output or just the chart layout. And as you can see here, not that the chart is not clean on QQQ, but when I break this down on SPY, we'll see what I'm talking about. So, one, what I'm pointing out is this massive range. So we got these $760.40, 760.40 level, and we have this open gap that was filled. But basically, I'm using this as my range low. Instead of, this marked out 722, this area is going to be our demand, like a demand zone in a way. Because why I point this out, and for anybody new watching, why I point this out is because you see price makes an all-time high, opens up, fills, buyers buy, 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 buy it. Sellers step in, boom. When buyers are up here, we make all-time highs, new all-time highs this whole way through, because obviously there is none of that. So buyers are even so ready that we gap up price, go for higher and higher. Price comes back into this open gap, taps out the 50. You can see this was a strong, massive day. Buyers did not want this day to go. Bought back 2% after being down quite some bit, about 3%. So that's a strong day and a very volatile day. As you see, it's one of the higher volume days that we've had in quite some time. Few 50 days of support. We get into another gap. This gap gets filled. And what I'm looking at is our Wednesday is a large minus 1% day, but where we closed under moving averages. But what I'm looking at is a huge, large day. Inside, the next day, Thursday, we have a doji bouncing off and reclaiming moving averages. So I'm not necessarily bullish nor bearish on the market. I'm more hesitant on if we break above, I'll be not necessarily waiting for it to break above, but to enter any of these trades. But if we are looking for a move above, then I'll be looking for a break of this level. It can also get swept to manipulate to move down for lower, or vice versa. Price can go lower, manipulate, reverse into higher. So that's just two scenarios that I'm looking out for. Not that I'm trading the OTDEs or I'm trading SPY specifically. I'm going to be using this focus list in tandem in the SPY and QQQ. Think of SPY and QQQ as your boss giving your schedule. Think of SPY and QQQ as somebody kind of giving you the playbook and the analysis of what other equities and stocks are going to do before they may do it. Because certain stocks you may see don't always follow exactly the SPY or the Qs. So just be aware. And things can be irrational, things cannot be. The market is infinite, and we should all love that. First name I'm looking at when I'm looking into the market is going to be Apple. Why I say Apple? Apple would be a strong, strong name over this basically 30. Actually, now that I'm seeing it, it's going to be a little bit better and more psychological. At the open of this day right here at 385-cent level. Above this, obviously, where I'm seeing massive levels of support and resistance, and what I think above, similar to the SPY, is this is normally a bearish pattern, I believe, that we have some moves down, then it channels up before it rips through. And that could very well be possible, where pricing get manipulated through, even sweep these lows and maybe reject up. I'm not too sure. Which, in the case that if SPY does pull back, reverse, manipulate, that could be something where I catch Apple on the push to down here. But in reality, um, what I'm more so looking for is the 300 above that 301 level. Let's just call it easy. To this 315.20 again, the the close of this Tuesday, June 2nd day. So we shall see. Basically, my whole analysis on most of these stocks are based on this inside day and this reclaim and moving averages before this long dated weekend. It is currently 11:07. So I'm not too sure on what the market even is doing. I got off work. I haven't even eaten. Um, and I don't really even care. But, not that I haven't eaten, but I don't really care what the market's doing because we're after hours. We're even into the market. Like, market hasn't even open. Let's wait for Monday for real. I'm checking the market right now. 743.94. So, some, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're basically at the bottom, the low of this day. So even in the sense of market opens down here, maybe even pushes lower a dollar or so, fakes out and pushes for higher. That's something that I'll be looking for. Like I mentioned, the sweep, manipulate, and reversal. On either side, be aware of that regardless, and that'll affect the overall market. So be aware. Um, Next setup, again, I'm going to be focusing high ticket names right now because of the fact that there's just certain names that are setting up. I mean, I haven't checked other names. Ooh, that would have been a nice short. I was just trying to see an example because, what's that called? Maybe this. Yeah, these names are all pushing for higher. Everything that's been leading the market has been pushing higher and higher and higher. So, if in the case that I'm right on my spine QQQ, then that is what I'll be looking for. Same thing, Nvidia, pretty simple. We had some news days, and on top of it, we had the one of the highest buying volume days, bouncing off the 50, reclaiming all these. What I don't particularly like is how the moving averages are set up, but as you can see, we're kind of like creating this sending trend. I'm sorry, guys. I'm exhausted. I'm making this video because I want to keep making content about trading, and the more and more I make content, the more and more I want to create content. So I really want to get this video out before basically Monday and be more consistent on my watch list videos. I don't really want to plan them in advance. I really do the watch, search through the market through my filters, even look at outside names that may be untraditional and not found in my filters. And then on top of that, I just wanted to come and record this video basically right before I eat and sleep. So when I watch back in this in 5, 10 years and I'm profitable and I'm living the life that I want to live off of uh, trading, it's going to be magical. And it's going to be everything I dreamed for because I did it. I put in the work and I made it possible. All right. That's how you got to be talking as a trader, and that's how you have to be talking if you really want to change your life and make it to what you want. Intel, this is somewhat of a focus, more or less, to either reconsolidate because we are breaking above these equal highs, but how it's looking is not looking the best. And these are not equal highs. This is a little base break, and the volume is just as big as these previous days that we were running off of a gap up after earnings and everything. So that's what keeps the pressure high on this stock. But at the same time, I think it might need a few more days before there's extension. But I could be all wrong on this. Cisco, huge gap up mover. One over this 82 psych level. This thing held up support, rips, gaps up 100 to 115. So $15 gap up, and we're just tightening up. So this thing looks huge to run back to these 130s. And Something just to know. I feel like this is an untraditional name, but they have basically massive market cap, not even market cap, market share across the U.S. And I feel like a lot of U.S. based things are what's kind of in right now, especially with who's in office without getting political. CMG, not necessarily the strongest setup, but a lot of these descending pops can have their moves and can fully reverse. I'll give an example right here. Basically, saw this, got it on the flip right here, and ran to this 114. So it's there. Obviously, the setup doesn't always work, but I'm definitely looking for that to kind of play out, uh, and just see what's up. UMAC leading sector, high volume that came in post earnings, higher than even the earnings volume. So we have lots of volume in this stock, institutional buyers possibly, and you can see we're still moving in moving averages. You can see gap has been mostly filled. What's left is this. So there is still a gap. There is potentially more room down. But what I really liked is on Friday or Thursday, I had this marked out. Um, and I wasn't trading on Thursday because I had jury duty. First time ever. I'm 24 years old. And jury duty, man, I did not luckily get called. Maybe me saying this, New York's going to be like, I'm getting you back. I don't know. I supposedly don't have to do it for another 2 years or something like that. So we'll see. But out of the uselessness, we sweep this level, and this really is just, to me, just showing there's an uptrend. Like, regardless, if we just look at it up and down, not necessarily that there's like a trend of higher lows um, that we could see, like, make a low, make a higher low, and obviously this is sweeping out all those, and most likely could have had the possibility of, yep, a little 30-minute pivot. So honestly, right into close, or right after close, actually, you wouldn't have a 30-minute pivot. I mean, could have got the, yeah, basically it would be like a 15-minute pivot. Boom, get it on right here. Stop loss, low a day. So honestly, low key, not a bad trade if you were looking for that. But what I would necessarily be looking for would be a break of this 26.58. Even it could be lower down because you could see that's the real resistance on the daily. But when you go down onto the 4 hour, it's just not as clean. The 26 level can be high level, so something I'll definitely be looking at. But at the same time, I think just that might be just a stronger level overall. I could be wrong, but just something to note. Now that I'm seeing this, 26 might be the stronger level just because it's a psychological level, and you can see all these wicks going through. Um, yeah. So BTDR, something that has been leading for quite some time. I mean, if you go from the lows, not even, I won't even go from here because really think about it, have the base break, even we'll say the gap fill, that makes a little more sense. Gets over right here, flips moving averages. Let's just say right there. And our peak was 115%. So this stock has moved. But the thing is that we've kept up moving averages, pulled back even, reclaimed, and we're holding up real tight and strong above this 8 day. So with a strong day like this, and with the same fact that if the market either pulls back, tries to sweep out these lows, manipulate reverses, or does the same thing up, then down, it's definitely something I'll be on the lookout for. So if the market is bullish, I'll have names for that. If the market is bearish, I'll have names for that, and that's fine. I'm not scared to play any side. If I see a setup, I play the setup. If it's my setup, I play the setup. Simple as that. So TE, similar vibe to um, UMAC with the resistance level, and same thing. Volume came in strong stock, tapped on the 50, and it looks like it could be setting up for another run. I did trade this basically over this day, or actually here, the 30-minute pivot sweep of this day, 30-minute pivot into the next day, sold up here. And yeah, it was a pretty good trade. Or actually, I think I'm low-key lying. No. This day I got in. Yeah. This day, got in on the Friday, swung into the Monday, and then broke even somewhere down here. Yeah. Basically broke even on this day. Alright. So, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give me a thumbs down. I think either way, YouTube may help, but at the same time, I think if you dislike, it'll bring my video down. Um, you want to know more? Click on more videos if you want to do whatever you want to do. I think YouTube recommends somewhere something on the screen. So, peace.